So Gamescom is currently well underway in Germany, and as of this video, Star Wars hasn't really made much of an appearance in any way, shape or form at the event, which is a real shame. Now, while I wasn't expecting anything major like Star Wars Eclipse or Star Wars Outlaws or maybe even the KOTOR remake to show up, I thought that they might have shown off some of the smaller projects that are in development that we haven't heard about yet. For example, there was a tease earlier in the year by an industry veteran whose name I cannot remember, but he said there was a real-time strategy Star Wars game in development and it was supposedly going to be unveiled soonish, and there was also a big rumour going around that there was a pod racing game in development somewhere in the industry stratosphere that was also going to be unveiled at the back end of this year. However, it seems like out of the blue, we did get a Star Wars announcement at Gamescom, and it's a real shame because nobody is talking about it. Because it's a franchise in Star Wars that I've played many times, it's a franchise that I grew up with, and it's one of the more pivotal Star Wars games from the 90s, and that is Dark Forces. Now, just to pivot this video for a quick second, because it is connected, in case you didn't see it, and I'm sure a lot of you didn't, a few months ago now I made a video about how Respawn Entertainment kind of teased that they were working on some kind of spiritual successor in some way to the Dark Forces franchise as an FPS. Like I said, I have a whole video going into detail on it, and I would recommend going to watch it if you're interested. But in this current gaming world of remakes, remasters have kind of taken a back seat comparatively. And so it really did take me by surprise yesterday when I learned that they were making a remastered version of Dark Forces 1. Now, there are upscaled resolution mods by fans and whatnot for this game, but this is an officially licensed remaster by an established studio. The Dark Forces remaster is being made by a studio known as Nightdive Studios, and they actually released a very well-received title recently, and that was the System Shock remake. They've also done a fair few remastered editions of games, such as Quake more recently, and the Turok remasters, again all of which were pretty well-received, and so it seems like this is a perfect fit studio-wise for a remaster of Dark Forces. Now, in regards to what we've actually seen, we have only seen one small trailer for the remaster. However, I'm actually really shocked at how good it looks. Now, unfortunately, I'm not an expert on the technology of games from the 1990s, nor am I an expert on how they transition from being really outdated to modern in regards to a remaster. But to me, it actually looks so much better, and it wouldn't surprise me if this was actually built from the ground up, but designed to look very, very similar. As you can see in the trailer, the textures look fantastic on all of the environments and the sprites. They all look brilliant while still keeping that kind of 1990s classic sprite feel. The resolution is high and it's crisp and it's clean. The frame rate looks smooth. And I am genuinely impressed at what this trailer is showing. And it's not only the gameplay that they've improved, it seems like they've completely remade the cutscenes too. Because to me, this doesn't look like upscaling. I've seen quite a few editions of AI upscaling for Dark Forces. If you go on YouTube, there's quite a few versions of them around, and absolutely none of them look as crisp and as clean as this. Which again makes me wonder if they have actually completely remade these cutscenes, but in the exact same style with a vastly higher quality. As I mentioned earlier in the video, there is actually like a high-resolution version of Dark Forces out there. It goes under the name of the Force Engine, and it's not a remaster like this. It's actually just sort of designed to help the game run on modern systems, but it also significantly improves the resolution too. Now, looking at them side by side, the Force Engine version does look absolutely spectacular, but you can see the quality of the sprites are a little bit higher in the remaster. It isn't quite as sharp in the Force Engine, which again leads me to wonder, is that maybe they've redone some of these assets and the artwork has been redesigned to be higher quality. However, I am not sure on this at all, I'm just speculating at this point, though somebody probably does know more about these systems than I do, and they can probably correct me. But with that said, as much as I do like the concept of remakes, sort of reimagining older games but in modern engines with modern visuals, I'm actually glad to see a game from the 1990s that is very classic in its visual style and has sprites and whatnot get a remaster instead of a remake, because it's just more faithful to the original but in such a pristine and stylistic way. And I say that with a tinge of nostalgia because I am kind of aware that a remaster of a 1990s shooter isn't really going to make the rounds in any way, shape or form in comparison to a total remake, especially in regards to newer fans. Younger Star Wars fans, and perhaps even fans that never got to play Dark Forces, probably aren't going to play this game and think it's anything special, simply because it's designed to play the exact same way as the classic, and it's archaic from a gameplay perspective. But even so, I really do hope that this game grabs a little bit of traction within the Star Wars community, because I want to see this succeed. I would love to see a remaster of Dark Forces 2, which I think is a lot of fun. Maybe even the DLC with Mara Jade in Mysteries of the Sith, and given this company, Nightdive Studio, has actually made successful remakes, perhaps this might lead to a remake of Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, or maybe even Jedi Knight Jedi Outcast, which I really do think would be massive hits. Unlike Dark Forces, which are stylistically ancient in their designs, the Jedi Knight games are more modern, and I think having those in a modern remake with that free-flowing lightsaber combat system would be pretty damn awesome. And it is another gaming franchise that we never got to see its conclusion, because there was supposed to be a third game of the Jedi Knight series, but it was cancelled just like Knights of the Old Republic. And with that said, the Dark Forces games aren't the only ones that I would love to see get remasters. There are other Star Wars games from the 90s that I would love to see get some modern appreciation. Things like Rogue Squadron, Rebel Assault, Shadows of the Empire, Jedi Power Battles. Hell, I wouldn't even mind a remastered version of the Phantom Menace video game, which I actually think was pretty good for its time. But I am certainly curious now to see if any more Star Wars surprises would appear at Gamescom. We've got another 2 or 3 days, I think, but like I said, I really don't expect anything to pop up. I don't even expect any sort of smaller titles to pop up either, but who knows. Now, I would really love to know what you guys think of this remaster. Are you happy that it's a remaster that faithfully copies the original, or would you have preferred a modernised remake of Dark Forces? And also, are you even going to buy this game when it comes out, though sadly we don't have a release date just yet? Let me know down in the comment section below. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button, it helps me out a great deal. And if you haven't, perhaps consider subscribing to join the biggest growing Knights of the Old Republic community on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, may the Force be with you. Always.